So we are proceeding to the next session, that is release of the Equifax publication and AMFI-WB and SRO's joint publication. For this, I would request the following dignitaries to come on the dais. Mr. Aditya Chatterjee, Managing Director, Equifax. Ms. Shruti Joshi, Head Analytics and Insights from Equifax. Dr. Mihir Ghosh, Researcher, V Lead Project, AMFI-WB. And last but not the least, Mr. Sabil Paul, Associate Director, Sadhan. Sir, I would request you all to come on the dais, please. Hello, sir. So kindly take your seats. Okay, publication, that would be yours. LNT is here. This is on. His name is not mentioned here. Do you know the designation? I would request Mr. Sudipto Roy from Managing Director, LNT, to also come on the dais, please. Is he here, sir? Okay. So I would request you all to enlighten us about this publication. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming today and spending time with us. Throughout history, we have heard various stories of, kingdoms and kings and princes who were doing very well, or, who were born with a silver spoon and were given a great kingdom to rule, and then, fate had it bad for them, and they fell down, and, they had to struggle and come up, and, the name that they achieved thereafter was through their own struggles. So we are going to take you through a similar story. In this case, the story is for the state of West Bengal. We heard the previous dignitaries saying that the sun rises from the east. So, we are going to show you that story through data. While, the current state for West Bengal is not looking that great, like, Mr. Tamal Bandyopadhyay was speaking about, but it is showing good signs of recovery, and we feel it's going to make a great comeback. So with that having said, I'll start with some of the information that we have for you. If you see, we have looked at the data for India overall and the state of West Bengal. So today, in terms of overall disbursement of loan and the portfolio, we see that portfolio for the microfinance segment has grown from almost 3,06,000 crores to 3,95,000 crores, which is a growth of 34%. Comparatively, the state of West Bengal has grown from 32,721 crores to around 32,349 crores. And we have given you the percentages of each sector over here in terms of growth. And comparatively, it's only a 1% growth. So in terms of portfolio outstanding, it's surely not looking like West Bengal is really out there. From 5 years back, where West Bengal was the #1 state, today it is the #5 state. So where are we seeing those signs of changes? If we look at disbursement, for example, the industry which was almost disbursing 77,000 crores to around 93,000 crores, and that's what Aditya was referring to, that we are seeing almost a 1 lakh crore disbursement happening every quarter going forward, is growing at 21%. West Bengal has grown a whopping 30% in this last 1 year, from disbursing 6,500 crores to 8,500 crores. So we have started seeing signs of comeback. And usually, these are the first signs that we see, the first green grass that we see when you see that, the disbursements have started to grow. Now, with the disbursements growing, how are the delinquencies looking? And we look at 90 plus delinquency, which includes all the data, including the 180 plus. We are seeing that the delinquencies as well for West Bengal, while they are at 13.63%, they have gone down quite a bit from what they were last year. Industry today is at 9.15%. So overall, we are seeing that industry delinquencies for the state of West Bengal are coming down. Disbursements are going up, while portfolio is inching up a little bit, and it will take some time to go back to its original place. Overall, the state has started doing quite well, and it has started seeing its green shoots of growth. What about the loan cycle ID, which was much talked about, where the customer first comes in, starts taking a loan, and whether they do well or no. So let's look at some of those parameters. So in terms of loan cycle ID, we have looked at how many customers for the industry are getting loan cycle ID 1, which means they're entering the industry for the first time. So if you see the industry line, which is the green line, loan cycle ID 1 is almost at 55%. For West Bengal, it's at 39%. What it means is that even with a low penetration compared to India, West Bengal as a state is doing well in terms of disbursement. And in fact, it's outnumbering the growth, its own growth compared to the industry. And as we move to other loan cycle IDs, 2, 3, etc., we see that West Bengal from loan cycle ID 2 onwards has started inching up, which means to a certain extent that people who are good are continuing to see that growth, are continuing to see that leverage, and they are then moving on, or rather graduating to the retail segment. How are the 90 plus delinquencies looking for these loan cycle IDs? If you see head on head, the delinquencies for loan cycle ID 1 is the lowest. For industry, it's at 8.64%, whereas for West Bengal, it's around 10%. As the loan cycle IDs increase, unfortunately, delinquencies of the industry and for the state of West Bengal also are increasing. Having said that, there are surely certain green shoots over there which are doing very well, which are moving on to the retail sides, which are graduating. So the story is not just for West Bengal, it's also for the industry that, somewhere as the customer matures, they do need to start looking at, how their delinquency is, and, they need to start graduating with a little bit more of risk discipline. What about geography views? This was widely talked about in terms of, which are the geographies which are doing well. So in terms of disbursements, if we see that there are 3 major geographies from the state of Bihar, which are Muzaffarpur, Samastipur, and Champaran, which have grown at 17, 18, and 15%. However, district number 1, which is Murshidabad, has seen a growth of 33%. And this is a pan-India data. Murshidabad, which had an outstanding of almost 2,644 crores last year, has grown at almost 3,701 crores. Its growth is of 33%, outnumbering the growth of Bihar at 17, 18, and 15% respectively. The last district, which is in Karnataka, Mysuru, has grown at 25%. In West Bengal itself, Murshidabad stands at number 1 position, which is the second graph at 33%. North 24 Paraganas has grown at 37%, South 24 Paraganas at 33%, Hooghly at 41%, and Howrah at 71%. So if we just look at the growth and compare it with the industry growth, we can see how West Bengal is making a great comeback in terms of disbursement. And this is just talking of the top 5 districts here. If we look at the same data from the terms of portfolio outstanding, again, we see that Murshidabad growth is 18%, and this is mainly because, the outstanding number over here is quite muted comparatively, whereas Bihar is quickly moving to the top position in terms of portfolio outstanding. While West Bengal is seeing a little bit of a decline in terms of portfolio outstanding as the disbursement, with the kind of disbursement growth that we have seen in the previous slide, we feel that these numbers will change in the next 1 year. We'll see great comeback for West Bengal, and it will be the comeback child. And it is very important to study these stories because this is not just state specific. Today it's the state of West Bengal which has slipped from position 1 to 5. Tomorrow it will be some other state. So these stories are important for us to understand as an industry because history has proven that things are repetitive in nature. It's not that today the state which is going to be number 1 is going to continue to be number 1, but studying the parameters, the data is very important. Similarly, if you look at rural, urban, semi-urban information, we see that in the industry, overall the growth of urban geographies has been the most, and that's mainly because the urban geographies have a lower base. In West Bengal, however, semi-urban has grown the most, which is again a very positive growth, especially from the microfinance segment. The same data, if we look at age factor and we look at how age growth is happening, maximum loans are given to women who are in the age bracket of 31 to 40, followed by women at around 27% for women who are in the growth of 41 to 50. So this goes on to show that the loan taking ability, or rather the loan giving ideas for institutions is more for women after 31. There is still a growth for women in the 26 to 30 and 18 to 25 range as well, but maximum growth is in the middle segment. Overall, in terms of lender exposure, West Bengal is a great story again. One lender is just 67%, compared to Bihar at 72. Two lenders is at 15%, compared to Bihar at 12. And more than 3 lenders are 18%, compared to Bihar at 16. Now, the reason I'm comparing it to the top state is because it's closely matching the top state. So while, there may be people who may be wanting to write off the West Bengal story, it surely looks like, they're doing a great job and making a great comeback. In fact, it's very closely mimicking Bihar, or rather, Bihar is closely mimicking West Bengal. It's the way, the lens is always the way we want to look at this information. The point is that, we have a lot of data in our publication, and I would urge you to go through it. And especially for the state of West Bengal, it's looking like a very positive story. And like I said, it's important to learn from previous information that we all get from our history because, it is going to repeat itself as we know many a times. Thank you so much for your time. So with that being said, we would like to, release the microfinance publication for Equifax. And
Thank you very much. So I don't have to tell much about it. It is completely AMFI's product. What I was doing, I was raising the questions that why is it not there? How can we do it? That's all I have done over there. It goes to every success, and this one goes to actually to AMFI. Thank you, AMFI.
I would request Mr. Ganesh Modak I'm Managing Director from Grameen Shakti to felicitate them with the mementos. Just a second. Sir, just a second. Thank you very much. I would request now Pratyusha to take over the session.